Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Frank Dutch of Frank Dutch Music with ProStudioLive.com, and today I want to share with you a quick way to find the BPM or beats per minute of a song or instrumental. Now, this is used for remix purposes, for matching up acapellas to songs or other beats, things of that nature. But it's also good for when you're recording to the song or to the beat, and you want to keep your time-based effects in line, as such as your reverbs and delays and things like that. So without further ado, here we go. Now, it's a couple of things you want to have on before you start. Like, you want to have tab the transient on, and you also want to have a click track, which I have here, and you also want to have the click activator guy on. You want to have this on, and you also want to have the conductor on too. The reason why I say you want tab the transient on is because if you zoom in here, you'll notice that the first transient doesn't start right at the beginning of the file. It's like, a little space in between it. So we can use tab the transient, which is the actual tab button on your keyboard. You will use that to tab directly onto the beginning of the transient, of the WAV file. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this. And I'm just going to scoot this back to the beginning. So now that I have that figured out, I'm going to zoom back out. And I'm going to tab to the very first kick drum of the beat. And that would be this right here. Let me turn that click track off. You see what I mean? It's starting directly at the beginning. So what you want to do first is you want to actually highlight about 4 to 8 bars of the music, so you can get so Pro Tools can get a good reading of the tempo. So how I like to do it, I like to let it play and hold down Shift and the tab button, and I see that it loops right there. So I see that it loops right there. So I highlighted that section, and now we got that clear. Now you want to hit Command I. And since we know that that's only about 4 bars, we're going to go ahead and type in 1 for the start, and we're going to type in 5 for the end. And what Pro Tools did, it basically adjusted the grid directly to the to that section. And it gave me a tempo, if you notice up here, of 72.9921. That's about right. So what we do now, we make note of that tempo, because if you're anything like me, if you notice here, the actual session starts at -1. So it's kind of like a count off, and then it actually starts into the session. You can keep it like that, but I personally don't like that. I like to start at the very beginning of the session. So what I do is I'll make note of this tempo here, 72.9921, and I'll just undo everything up to me finding the tempo. And I'll start it at the very beginning of the session, and I'll turn conductor off, which will allow me to edit this section here. So I'll just type in the tempo, 72.9921. Enter. And what Pro Tools did, it basically adjusted everything to the grid. So now if I listen to it with my click track on, it should be right on point. Yeah. And see, you can barely hear the click track now because it's perfectly on. See what I mean? And if you want to, you can even check further along into the song to see if you got it right even towards the end. There's no lagging off or anything with the tempo. So we basically figured out our tempo is 72.991, or you can multiply that by 2 if you want to, do it in double time. It should be like 140 something. I don't feel like doing math right now, but yeah, it'll be double time, and you can set your grid to that. But this is basically how you do it, man. And I really encourage you guys to go to www.prostudiolive.com, and that's where you'll find hundreds of videos about producing, recording, mixing, and mastering with some of the best engineers in the world. It's a whole lot of stuff to learn there, so I really encourage you guys to check prostudiolive.com out, and also check out www.frankdutchmusic.com, and follow me on Instagram. That's Frank Dutch Music, at Frank Dutch Music. And that's about it, fellas. Peace.